Law schools, for the most part, don't teach science. And frankly, most people go to law school because they're not very good at science. But science and the law are inseparable. And indeed, more and more, science predominates in the courtroom, whether it's a civil case or a criminal case. So someone has to make sure that lawyers know science and know the law of when science is admissible and when it's being misused or should not be allowed in the courtroom at all. Over the years, the American Bar Association, which has a section on science and technology law, has published a periodic monograph on scientific evidence. This is the most recent edition, 2013. What's the idea of it? Circuit by circuit, using the federal courts of appeals, this book analyzes the state of expert and scientific evidence law. It not only does it for the federal courts, but each chapter also does it for the states within that circuit. So for any lawyer who needs to know the latest on how courts are assessing expert evidence in general or particular categories, be it forensic evidence in a criminal case, epidemiological evidence in a pharmaceutical tort case, you name it, this is the source. I am one of 3 people who edited this book. What does that mean? Each of the 3 of us took 4 or 5 courts of appeals and worked with lawyers from those circuits as each lawyer edited a chapter or created a chapter governing the law in that region. Not only does the book contain all the circuits, but it has a couple of extra essays. There's an essay that's an overview on the law of admissibility, what are called primarily the Frye and Daubert standards. There's a chapter I wrote on forensic evidence and the current state of how courts are addressing it in the years after a somewhat damning report issued by the National Academy of Sciences. And then finally there's a chapter, sort of a practical guide, on how to work with an expert witness, how to pick the right expert witness. If you want to be current on practical knowledge on expert witnesses, it's the Scientific Evidence Review from the American Bar Association.